And why did he make you so special? Why did he bless you? Think about it. I woke up this morning. Gotta smile when I say that shit. I woke up this morning. Go.
Alright, so we are live for episode number 67 with Carolyn Boschert. I looked at Sarah when I said that.
I know. It's fine.
Well, Carolyn Boschert.
Hello.
And then Sarah Dobbs.
Yes.
Do you guys just want to start with shotgunning a beer real quick?
Yeah, let's get to it.
Well, Sarah.
Yeah, not
I don't want to get this all over like your laptop and stuff. So I'm gonna,
Could you just put it below the table?
Yeah. Ooh, you smart. You intelligent.
Yeah, well, actually, it wasn't my idea. I did this one other podcast, and I was like literally like right over my laptop. It shot in your face.
I am so upset by how that went. Oh man, I am so. I'm shook.
But you did it.
I did it.
Oh, that's good.
And it's not that good of a hole.
It looked like
It could have at least been like a good one. We'll just use my.
Well, you can make it bigger.
Yeah, I will. Don't you worry.
It looked like you smacked a mosquito and blood just splattered all over your face.
I'm like actually soaked. Like it's all over me. It's fine. All over my pants too. I should have at least like spread.
Alright, Jordan, let's see if you can top that.
Yeah, I'm not feeling too optimistic if we're being honest.
I don't know. How do people do it and not make that happen?
I don't know.
That's some
He's nervous
sensei.
now.
Oh, I'm wearing a robe, by the way, for anybody who, I guess you can barely tell. At least in that small screen, I can barely
just
tell.
looks black. It looks like you're wearing like a black blouse.
Oh, great.
I feel like it's just a little
It really
screen.
does
I feel
look
like
like a
once it's like
blouse.
on a computer, it'll look fine.
True. I hope.
Right.
I hope. I wore a white robe whenever I was in Chicago for episode number 60. There was like one, my buddy got us a free hotel room, and there was like one in there. Oh, I did it without breaking anything. Cool.
Oh boy, don't I wish I was you. We
That's
can't all
exciting
be
stuff.
that lucky.
Wow. This is honestly impressive. Like, I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but this is nice.
He's making fun of me, Sarah.
Yeah, I'm hurt.
Maybe I just have low expectations to compare it to. I don't know.
Yeah, you didn't have a lot to be like. I'm sorry, your keys are.
All right, let's get into the questions.
Yes, sir.
I guess before we shotgun, I'll ask this little question here. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
If you use a piece of bread instead of a bun, yes.
No, I think it's a sandwich either way.
Regardless?
No, never mind, because a sandwich is like smash. Like, it's like two pieces of bread.
Because
So-
like hoagie sandwiches, it's on like a long, like similar.
Yeah, but like.
Hot-
Are they connected? The two pieces connected on a hoagie?
No.
It's not?
Yes, maybe. What's a hoagie?
Well, it depends. Aren't Subway sandwiches? Do they cut all the way through?
Yeah, but I'm saying like it's like on top and the bottom of the meat.
Oh,
But a
Subway
hot
doesn't.
dog, it's not. It's just on the bottom. So it's like I don't know what it's called, but it's not a sandwich.
What are you saying?
A hot dog isn't a sandwich.
So you're saying, why isn't it a sandwich, though? Because it's
So
one
like,
piece of bread?
okay, like, yeah, like it's one piece of bread. Like, like a sandwich is like something sandwiched in between.
But it is sandwiched
So like,
in between.
like this book is sandwiched in between my hands.
Okay.
But like
but-
Subway doesn't cut all the way through.
But a hot dog just
That is
looks
a
like
great
this.
argument. I didn't think about that.
You know, Subway doesn't cut all the way through, so it's the same concept. It's all one,
But it's on.
and it's wrapping around the meat.
I've lost this one. I'm taking
I don't know.
my L and I'm moving on.
Well, it kind of is two pieces at the same time.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's a sandwich. I don't know. We looked up the definition of this one time.
I've actually had this argument, and my friend called Jimmy John's and asked.
No way.
They hung up.
What did Jimmy John say?
They hung up.
Jimmy
But-
John's is gonna sell
Okay.
hot dogs. How do they know?
Yeah.
We need to ask the hot dog
Well, like,
guy
but it's
out on
yeah, it's like, you have to ask the
downtown
same.
Springfield.
Oh, is there a guy downtown?
Yeah,
He's,
he
like, right
sells hot
outside of
dogs like
Piano Bar.
late night.
Oh, I got his number one now. I'll just call him.
Yeah.
Perfect.
We gotta ask a hot dog stand guy and like a sandwich shop, and then compare.
Yeah.
See, you can
And then
decide.
get a little rivalry going,
Yeah,
too.
it's like a little
Sure.
Venn diagram, you know, like they meet in the middle.
Compare and
Yeah,
contrast.
exactly. I think that could work, but I don't say it's a sandwich.
I don't know. These are questions that are going to change the world.
They really are.
honestly.
I'm
I say
standing
that a
firm on that one.
sandwich just because I don't know what else it would be. And it drives me crazy if I don't know what else it would be, so I'm sticking with
Do you guys like a hot dog its own subcategory of food? Because I guess it'd have to be otherwise. I don't know what else is
I don't know if
a
it really
brat.
deserves its own.
Yeah, it's kind of a
its own
shitty.
category.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, good point. I haven't eaten a hot dog in a while.
I haven't had a hot dog in years.
They're just garbage.
They're not
Yeah.
good.
No, not at all.
Even the hot dog stand guy, I got a walking taco. I didn't even get a hot dog at the hot dog stand.
Walking tacos, not
Yeah,
like Fritos.
it's like a bag of Fritos, and then they put like taco meat and like
That's good.
cheese, and then
Or
you
I've
just
had
eat
it with
out
like
of the bag.
Doritos.
Okay,
So
okay.
good. Yeah, they had it with Doritos too, but I got scared. So I,
They're good.
I don't like to try new things.
Why's that?
Just foods. I'm thinking.
Okay.
Just foods. I like new things. Just foods.
Well, apparently, like every 6 months, your taste buds change or something like that. I don't know what the.
I feel like I should know if that's true or not, but I don't. I feel like it.
I feel like you of all people should know
I
that.
don't know. Like my major's biology.
Yeah, I'm very disappointed.
shook.
I feel like I've heard that too, but that could also just be something that like your parents told you as a kid, so that way you'll try new things eventually.
True.
Because I've always thought about that.
And then like it got out of hand, and like
Right.
now it's in worldwide myth.
Yeah,
like,
never hear it, and then
Big-
you have
just
to,
one parent wanted their kid to eat the vegetables, and like it changed the world.
like you never
Sounds
hear
like
it in
Santa
like a
Claus.
specific
Right.
science class, but like everybody like has heard of that from their parents, and I really think it's just to get you to try
I'd say I've
new
never
foods.
heard it in science class, but
We got
once I heard it was like
conspiracy
every
theories.
7 years.
We're on to the parents.
Crazy.
So, do we want to get into this topic? I guess you guys said it was cool, and I thought of the question,
let's
so I don't
do
know
it.
why I'm questioning it. But biggest complaint about guys in college? I'm excited.
Oh man.
Anytime I have girls
This
on, I
feeling
love.
am I gonna hurt?
I'm like honestly just rip on guys. That's like pretty much what I always
That's
ask girls
good.
to
That's
do.
good. Like my top one, or just like the most relatable one, like complaint.
Ooh. Yeah, I guess like if you just like if you had one common complaint or like one core complaint of college.
Like one thing that I could pretty much change, like that, because it bothers me so much, type thing. I
Yeah.
get you. Well, they're the worst. But that's not. That's pretty general. So like, I feel like it's a
let's
trust
take a
thing.
shotgun
I feel like
break.
I feel like it's a shotgun moment, and then we'll have this conversation.
Shotgun and think about it.
Yeah.
Ponder the question.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna have a few sips.
There we go. There we go.
Boy, I feel so silly.
Not
I
up
did
to
this
the
upside down.
challenge.
Like, I did,
Oh, you did upside down?
Yeah, it's okay.
You done goofed.
I goofed a lot. All right.
Yeah, honestly, I'm gonna feel judged. I'm just letting everybody know. I'm not the best at shotgunning a beer. I'm not. I don't pride myself on shotgunning beers. It's fine.
I have faith.
All right.
I feel like you. Oh, quick.
Good work.
I think it's cold beers. I think it's cold beers. I think because this is warm, and this is like way
You
better.
just shotgun to warm natty.
Well, it's not warm. It's like room temperature.
Okay.
So I'm down with it.
Yeah.
There we go.
I have a lot of foam in this one. Now I have to drink it because I can't set it down.
Oh.
Worst day of my life. I'm really hungover. Too.
Foam tastes the worst too.
All right. So what would you say? Biggest complaint?
Honestly, I think college guys get kind of douchey when they're all in like groups. I really think like individually they're not so bad, but like especially like, walking around downtown at night, like when they're in groups, they'll like yell at you and say things like, yeah. And it gets like really bad the bigger the group is because they get like hyped up by everybody else.
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I guess just being with their like with their boys and everything, they're like, oh fuck it, like we'll do whatever.
Right. I
Yeah.
think that's the most annoying.
Okay.
Is that they feel like they can do whatever they want when they're with a group of guys.
I would say I was more like that in high school. Like at least me personally.
Yeah.
Like I definitely had that problem in high school. Like too much testosterone in like one place.
Yeah.
Now I'm
It's like
bloated.
what? I know. Now I have to burp so badly. Ugh.
Go for it, guys.
I know. I can't make myself. Otherwise, I would have. It would have been super classy.
The Buddy the Elf burp.
It's like
You hear
yeah, really. It's like peeing with your friends in the room. Like you can't. At least I don't know if that's a girl thing or not.
Oh
but,
yeah,
like
I
with
do it with my
guys.
friends in the room all the time.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Can't tell if you're joking because I definitely
No.
do. Okay.
I do it like religiously. Yeah, you get lonely in there. No, just whenever you're like drinking and like you're like at the bar and like there's a long line, so you grab all your friends, or you just grab random people and go into one stall. Just make it faster for everybody.
You random people.
Yeah.
Wow.
Trying to fit all those people in a small stall is a difficult task.
It's
too.
like they're like up against you and you're just like,
You really get to know each other.
Wow.
we're open.
Sitting on each other's laps.
Yeah, pretty much.
You'll never know. The girls' bathroom at a bar is like the nicest place in the entire world.
I've
Really?
never felt like more loved than being in a girl's bathroom drunk. I'm not kidding. Every girl walks around and they just like look at you and you're like, you're gorgeous. I love this about you. I love this about you. And like then as soon as you leave the bathroom, everybody's
Or if anybody in there is like upset or anything, everybody like huddles.
If you see one girl crying in the bathroom, like there are a million girls that she doesn't know, like hugging them and like loving on them. It's great.
This is news to me. I've literally never heard this before.
I love girls' bathrooms when I'm drunk. Yeah.
I can't relate, but that's awesome.
I would spend my entire night in the girls' bathroom. Like, who needs the bar?
Like, if you ever need compliments, just go into a girls' bathroom.
Well, see,
probably not.
And, like,
get the hell out!
And, like, I don't know what it is, but, like, she always makes fun of me, too, because, like, we go to the bar, like, together, and, like, we'll, like, go, and, like, the second you can tell I'm drunk is when, like, I see a girl, and I'm like, oh, my God, you look so good! And, like, yeah, that's how you know Sarah's drunk, is when she drunk compliments people in the bathroom.
Fair enough, fair enough.
I just think everybody needs to be hyped up, you know?
And you really do get hyped up in the bathroom.
Everybody love everybody.
E-L-E.
E-L-E.
That's insane to me. That's honestly insane to me. That,
that's
like,
news to you. He looks
it's just
so
comforting.
surprised.
Yeah, it really is. I would say the guys' bathroom is just like fuckery. I guess that's a good way to describe it.
Dude, you even talk in the bathroom?
A lot of stuff.
It's like a lot of conversation. I have like some of my best conversations in the bathroom.
Seriously?
That's insane. Yeah. So you could just go in there and pretend you're crying, and I'm just imagining like herds of girls.
Yeah. One time, like I was in the bathroom, and like this girl like opened the door, like not of the stall, but like I was standing in front of the door because the line was really long. Like to go into the bathroom, there's a piano bar, and like she opened the door really fast, and it hit my hand. I dropped my drink, and she bought me a new one.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah, like usually people would just like
deep secrets, like too.
Oh yeah, like they know my like life problems, and I've never seen them ever again.
Why do you think that is? Do you think girls just get really nice when they're drunk and like just more loving, kind of?
And I think it's a fact that they know they're never going to see these people again. That like
also like if you're peeing with random strangers, like you were at your most vulnerable state, you might as well just say whatever you want to say.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like not seeing them again. Like like I definitely act way different when I know I'm not going to see anybody I'm surrounded by at that moment in time, like ever again.
Exactly.
It's kind of a good feeling though. Like,
oh, it really is.
Because you can do whatever the fuck you want, and it's not embarrassing or anything.
It's very freeing. Mm-hmm. Or at least like you not see them as much, especially if you're in like a foreign city.
Yep.
Oh my god! Like I'm so outrageous in public in like foreign cities.
Yeah,
like,
your Instagram story, like when you went to Chicago, was like you just do it like on the bike, like pretending to be on the phone. I was crying, laughing. I thought that was so funny.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I do that all the time, and like I don't even record it. I'll just be like, "Mom, I'm at Walgreens, not Walmart. What the hell?"
Wait, will you
Mom!
be at either of them? Like, will you just be like in the middle of a Target, like yelling this? Like,
yeah, I guess it does depend.
Sir, you're not in either. Just want to let you know.
You're delusional and crazy.
Do we need to get you out of here? Like, no. I can see it.
Oh, that's funny.
But yeah, girls' bathroom when you're drunk. I wish you could experience it, but don't because that'd be creepy.
So would you two recommend, like, it sounds like a great place for guys to meet girls. Like,
yes,
like
for
just
sure.
Go in there, and, like, if you're a guy.
I think that's actually where we bash on guys, like, the most. Like,
I think you might be, like, mobbed and attacked by a group of girls if you walk in.
It's our safe
everybody,
place.
like, sticks together.
It's
like one big
It's
army
hard to
of
get
girls.
through, yeah. It is. It's like a mosh pit at a rave or something.
But it's so weird because it's like the second you walk out of the bathroom, it's like nothing ever happened, and, like, you're back to the real world. It's like the girls' bathroom.
Like, and you'll see each other like at the bar, like after, like you have this like heart to heart in the bathroom. You'll see each other, and you'll walk past each other. You won't even acknowledge each other.
Like you won't even like.
Yeah, like you don't know each other.
It's just like.
I told them like why I was mad at somebody, and now we don't know.
It's like they just told me all of their relationship problems, and then you just.
Yeah.
Continue.
I've convinced multiple girls to break up with cheating boyfriends in the bathroom.
No way.
It's great.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I'm helping people left and right.
That's the things I like share.
Call me
in the
Gandhi.
bathroom.
I'm just imagining like you sitting in the corner and like the lights
like
kind of
cross-legged, like folded.
Come to me, my child.
Yes.
Tell me your
next to me,
story.
maybe? I don't know. Like in the back of the handicap stall, like it's bigger. So like
Yeah.
Wearing a robe as
Just-
well.
Yeah. Same robe now.
Yes, exactly. That's gonna be me in a couple years.
Oh, that's
give
funny.
me a few.
That is hilarious. That's crazy.
So,
Yeah, that's a good
you
time.
learn something new every day.
You should try and make the same thing in the boys' bathroom.
I think I just might. I think I just
Like,
might.
walk
Start
in and be
sharing
like,
your problems.
Walk in and just be like, all right, gentlemen, let's start talking. Like, see
So
what they
start asking people their problems.
like, you look good. You
How's your
look good.
You're beautiful. You are beautiful.
That shirt looks really good.
Don't let anybody define your self-worth.
You have to like hold their face too, because that's what drunk girls do. They like hold each other's face and they're like, "I love you," and I'm like, "Why are we so aggressive about it?"
Like touch foreheads.
Yeah, no, they are. They're like shaking their head and they're like, "I love you," and I'm like, I don't. Why are you mad about it though? No, it's fine.
So much rage in your eyes.
I know. Girls are crazy, but they're great all at the same time.
So if you walked in there and just started going, "Fuck boys, boys suck," or something like that,
like be cheering all around the bathroom.
I think standing ovation and like,
because everybody in there has had a problem with the guy.
Like,
so everybody in there would be like, "Fuck yeah!"
Like half my Instagram followers are like girls I don't know because of like bathroom conversations.
So you're going in there to get followers. You're not using the restroom.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm literally just trying to build my name, of course.
There you go. No,
it's just like you're like in there and girls are like meet you and they're like, oh, follow me on Instagram. I'll like all your pictures. I'm like, thanks. That's super important to me. Like I'm very worried.
Thank you so much. I defy my self-worth on
Yeah, social media likes, of course.
Thank you.
But you give it to them anyways because you're nice.
Right.
Because it's the girls' bathroom.
Yeah, you gotta share everything.
It's the girls' bathroom.
Exactly.
It is. It's its own world. It's amazing. It's like a universe.
To some extent, we all kind of like likes. I mean,
I mean, you get like a little down when you're like, ooh, that only got like 50, and then you get one that gets like 150. You're like, ooh, killing it. Yeah, like,
hey.
like low key, but you don't like really care that much. Like, it, you know.
But then there are people out there that do care, like, too much.
I know. Like, that'll text you, like, out of the blue and be like, go like my Instagram or something. Do you have those people?
I did that one time with the Twitter
but I mean, like,
post
it's just
made.
like, yeah, no, but like, you do it with like Intrepid a lot and like that account, but they'll just do it with like personal accounts, and it's like a tweet that's like, hey, how many retweets and I'll get chicken nuggets for a year or something. Right. Like those things. And I'm like, let me do that on my own.
Speaking of social media, last week she found somebody on Twitter and it was this random account.
We're being catfished.
And the profile picture was a group picture with like me and her and Taylor and like some of our friends, but like none of us knew.
That's
this
weird.
Yeah, and then I followed her and she blocked me.
You were in the profile picture.
We were the profile picture. And then... Yeah,
I have a picture.
I took a screenshot of it.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, we were the profile picture, and then none of us knew. They're from, like, Ohio.
Yeah. And they're pretending to be one of us. It's crazy.
That's weird.
I know. Isn't it insane?
Like, Jean.
her name's just Jean Moore?
Yeah. Like, I have an actual picture.
That's me, Taylor, Sarah.
This is bizarre. Wow.
I know.
Someone's catfishing everybody out there pretending to be us, and it's not us. We don't live in Ohio. I promise.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jean Moore, if you're watching.
Jean Moore, if you're watching, big F you. Because you're probably giving me
I know, and then I was curious. I'm like, do you think she has other social media accounts?
Well, right. So I like looked her up.
I was trying to like search her on other things, and I couldn't find her.
She didn't have any likes, any tweets, but she had one tweet at a person, and it was like, "Is this you in your Twitter picture?" And it was like, "Is that you,
Jean? Is that you?
Jean, that's not you. You're pretending to be someone you're not."
Like she tweeted at somebody else and was like, "Is that even you in your picture?"
Like trying to call him out for pretending to be somebody else, and it's like. I'm confused because that's not you.
Right.
Yeah.
That's creepy. That's creepy.
Yeah.
Well, I remember, I think both genders do this. I don't know why, but like, like guys and girls will both go like find like really attractive girls. Like, probably on the opposite, attractive guys as well. And they'll just like post like pictures on Instagram or whatever, like, hey, check me out. Like, I guess these are just really lonely people, like, bored with their own lives. Like,
I don't...
That's just weird.
That is weird.
But, like, yeah, I've seen, like, personal accounts for people, like, I don't want to say... should I say them? Brendan from high school. I don't want to say his last name. But,
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, and, like, someone made an Instagram and posted every single Instagram picture that he posted.
That's weird.
And pretending to be him. Like, and, like, yeah.
Why?
I don't know. They still don't know. Like, they, like, commented on all of his pictures. They're like, this isn't even you. Like, the guy that he's pretending to be literally was like, hey, this isn't Brendan. This is some random guy. But, yeah.
Does he even know Brendan?
I don't think so.
That's
as far
so
as he knows,
weird.
like, I mean,
That's
they
so
could obviously be a
weird.
fake name, but, like, you don't really know who's behind the account.
Like, that's the scariest thing, is you have, like, no idea. Like, this
like, somewhere
could be, like, an old man. It could be, like, a girl our age. Like, you have no idea.
And, like, you don't know if it's happening to you or not. Like, the fact that I saw it was just because it popped up on, like, my people you may know. Because I had just followed, like, St. Louis Blues, and, like, they also followed St. Louis Blues. And also, I don't know if it does, like, face recognition, but, like, it's my face. So, like,
that's crazy.
I was like, yeah, but it popped up, and so I clicked on it, and I sent it in our group message with all of the girls that were in the picture. It's like, well, why is this a thing? And, like, everybody thought I was making it up at first, I think. Like, I don't know if everybody believed me.
It's kind of like a scary moment. Like, you really
like, someone could be out there pretending to be you, and, like, you'd have no idea. Unless, like,
that's when I know I've made it in the podcast
right,
game.
Someone's trying to be Jordan Fischer, yes.
I'll take it. I'm going to shotgun another if you guys are cool with that.
Yeah, go for it.
Do I have your permission?
Yes.
Of course.
Okay, cool. So, next question. Do you find it important to know what you don't want in life?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very.
How so?
Like, man, I don't know how to. He's very good at that.
You're just waiting for it to like explode on him.
I'm really like I wasn't even trying to talk myself down. Like I usually suck at this shit. Like
Sarah was over here low-key hoping that would have just like exploded all
I
over
just
the
didn't want to look
place.
as silly because that was literally the first thing that happened on the podcast. Everybody's gonna see it. It's totally fine. But it's important to know like what you don't want. Like,
I mean, I think it's more important to focus on what you do want, but
Yeah,
it's
like,
important to know what you don't want as
you want to be
well.
positive and like be looking at like I strive to like have this as a part of my life, but like you don't want to like let someone like if like it's like how people treat you. Like you don't want to let someone treat you a certain way and like you don't even know that it's like bad for you.
It's kind of like you need to like set the boundaries
Yeah.
of like things that you won't accept in your life.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like you guys are saying, like every girl in the girls' bathroom has been screwed over by a guy or like had a
Yeah.
bad experience with a guy. Like I think that's so important. I think relationships like
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially in relationships. That's like what I was referring to as far as like how people treat you type thing. Yeah.
true. You're like I don't like this. It's not even like you're.
It's not like
looking
you're
to
like
find
making
the-
rules. Like
Yeah.
you're not like you won't do this, you won't do this. Like, but yeah, boundaries is a good way to describe what I'm
Exactly.
thinking about. Yeah.
Like I told an ex-girlfriend of mine in junior year, because I've always like kind of thought that way. Like knowing, like being able to identify what you don't want is like
Yeah.
almost as important as knowing what you like do want in this
Yeah.
life. And there was an ex-girlfriend I had junior year of high school. And I told her that I'm like, yeah, like you're just practice for my wife. I probably should have worded that better. Yeah, that's probably like
No, yeah, that's bad.
the way I worded it was poorly worded, but like the intention was like, yeah, like I learned what I need to learn here. Like
Yeah.
it's a learning experience for both of us. That's what I was trying to
Yeah.
communicate, but she didn't like
And
that.
now in
She
today's
was like,
vocabulary used before.
Now in
Yes.
today's world, she's probably in a bar bathroom telling other girls, my
Stupid
ex-boyfriend.
ex-boyfriend said that I was just practice. Yeah, you're probably bar bathroom talk.
For sure.
For sure.
Really bad word.
Oh, I promise you that's happening at least once.
That's funny. That's funny.
Oh man.
I've been in a girl's bathroom verbally.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Like you want to like.
I agree with what you're saying, but you shouldn't say that to the person.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
I was like my high school self. I know you guys didn't know. You didn't know me back in high school, right? We met like later.
Like it was like going into our
That was like
freshman
my
year.
senior year.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, like 'cause I met you like the summer after she met you before, but I met you like the summer going into my freshman year.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say
right.
my high school self, in comparison to like me now, I was a fucking savage. I really was. Like I had no consideration for people's feelings. Like I would say,
I know.
like not in like a mean aspect. Like I didn't try to be mean, but I just said exactly what came to my mind.
It was like no filter. Like
Yeah,
you would
yeah.
just like be very blunt.
Exactly, and like I somewhat tried to like be
middle
like
ground that you need to find.
exactly, and I've gotten a lot better at it.
I used to just be super quiet and I would never say anything, and so people would like walk all over you, and then like I got a little too blunt and just said things that like I felt, and you gotta find that middle ground. I feel
Exactly.
you. Yeah. You gotta find that like happy medium where you know you're not burning people's dreams, but you're also being realistic.
It's like, hey, your hair looks like shit, but it usually looks really shitty, but today it just looks a little
Like
less
a little
shitty.
less shit, like on a
Yeah.
1 to 10. So yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I feel like it's important to like I feel like so many people put so much like effort into not offending other people. Like they care too much what other people
Right,
think.
and like to an extent, you just can't care like about that. Like you need to, and you need to like be like wary of people's feelings, but you also need to like actually say what's on your mind.
True.
I don't know, personal preference.
Yeah, I think that's really important.
I'd rather
to
have
say
people be
what you
straight
actually-
up. Like I like if you're not gonna tell me what you like. Tell me what bothers you. You know, like if you're like talking to somebody and like something you do annoys like the shit out of them, like they never tell you.
Yeah.
You just keep doing it and then like they explode one day.
Exactly.
And you're like, you could have just told me and I would have stopped.
Right.
Yeah.
It's good to know not to like keep that bottled up
yeah.
within yourself.
Yep.
Suppress any like negative emotions down. I feel like you just need to confront those demons when they happen. Otherwise, they'll turn into like a whole new beast.
I agree.
It's actually funny because I was thinking about shaving half my beard tonight. Like instead of wearing the robe,
like
I was literally gonna shave it down the middle. Like
that's what I was thinking. Like just like one side shaved and one side.
Yep.
Words are hard.
I'm doing it like some podcast for sure. But I was
Are you
like,
gonna do it on the podcast or are you gonna do it before?
that's funny because the first thought I had, I was like, I'm gonna have Caroline shave my beard however she wants. I swear to God, that's what I was gonna do. I was like, I'm just gonna see, like,
it.
I'm just gonna a little paper plate, just look, like, just do whatever.
You literally should like one half shave.
That's a lot
then,
of trust,
you turn
too.
towards the camera, and
That's
it's
a lot of trust too. Like,
that is a lot of trust.
I mean,
I've never shaved a beard.
I know. I mean, like, I'm not talking about like making it look dumb because I mean, if you're only gonna shave part of it, it's not gonna look the greatest. But like, I'm talking about like no, cutting. Like, she can completely like slice your face
Oh,
open.
you said an electric razor.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
There's like blood all over the place.
I know. I was like, we gotta cut the podcast and go to urgent care. Like, things are happening. Yeah.
Bring the camera to urgent care.
Right?
We're gonna continue.
It's like a long-
So, what's your opinion on politics?
Oh God.
Oh no, I was just like,
Oh no, I thought you were serious. I was like, fuck no.
I'm in the ER, like covering my neck bruise. I'm like,
yes, and like trying to continue. Yeah. I love it.
I'm committed. They're wheeling me away.
Don't
See
ever
you guys
say,
later.
I didn't try.
Like talking to the doctor. You're like, so is a hot dog a sandwich?
Yes.
It's going viral.
It's a hot dog
Before I
sandwich.
die, I need to know.
Sir, you literally don't even need to just like.
Strap him down.
Oh man.
Here we go. And
Showing you up, Sarah.
well, the next
That's
question I have.
A-okay. Still.
Going for 2. Oh, like floats on this surface.
I
Wow.
know. I kind of had to rub it in.
This is such a random podcast. I like it.
I do
Ugh.
too.
Ah,
Jordan, I didn't even tell you.
I'm just wiping
This
on
is
my robe.
hilarious. Remember that book that I borrowed? The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck?
Yes.
I didn't realize when I was 18 I got a tattoo on the inside of my lip that literally says I don't give a fuck. And
No way.
I was like thinking about while I was reading it, I was like, I completely forgot to show Jordan that.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah.
I never knew that. Don't those lip tattoos, don't they like go away?
Yeah, like look, the like D I think is gone, or the G.
The G's gone
Yeah,
away.
like gone away. You
I
can
don't
still,
fuck.
see- I don't fuck. Yeah. Yeah. So I really don't give a fuck. Can you tell?
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Thought I'd share.
That's funny. That's really applicable to that book too.
I know, right? It's literally about not giving a fuck. You should read it. It's really good. I'll give it to you.
Yeah, perfect.
I was about to return it today, but because
Yeah, it's
I'll
crazy.
take it.
So the next question I have going into this is about New Zealand. Do you
Okay.
want to just like go into it?
Yeah, we can do that.
I guess just explain your whole experience. Like, how long were you over there for?
It was like 5.5 months, something like that.
I thought you were over there so you're over there like a whole semester, basically.
Yeah, I did a semester in school, and then I was there like 2 weeks before classes started, and then like a week after classes.
No shit. Mm-hmm. Did you go to Australia at any point?
No, I thought about it because we had a 2-week break, like this time last year, and so I was either going to go to Australia or go to the South Island of New Zealand, and I did the South Island instead. Me and 2 other girls rented a camper van, and for like 2 weeks straight, we just went around just like the whole island.
That's awesome.
So I decided I thought it'd be cooler to like explore the country that I came to see.
Yeah, totally. That's sick. It'd
Yeah.
probably be cheaper too.
Oh yeah, it was awesome.
That is fucking awesome.
It was awesome.
Was it like? It's probably a dumb question, but is it smaller than Missouri?
No, I wouldn't say so. It's definitely like thin. Like you're never more than an hour and a half away from the beach. So like.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So if you think about that, like width-wise, but it's a lot taller, I think.
Okay, like so it's really long.
So like driving
Long
from
and
like east to west would be
Like 3 hours.
Yeah, pretty short. But then like north to
Right.
south would be like a lot longer.
Right.
Okay, I get you.
Oh, that makes sense. Actually, I'm gonna pull it up on the. I have a globe in here.
Oh, perfect.
Here we go.
We're getting worldly here.
yeah.
Oh yes, we are.
All right.
Geography.
So there it is.
Oh, okay. So it's 2 separate islands.
Yeah. So I stayed up on the North Island, but then I did 2 weeks like going around like everywhere down here, pretty much.
I totally thought it was only one. How long was
people do.
Did you take like a ferry down between the 2 islands, or how did
No,
that
we
work?
flew. There is a ferry you can take, but apparently it's not as good like during some parts of the year, and so we decided we'd just save our time. It was like a 30-minute flight,
Okay.
which was weird flying like domestic flights in there because I never once had to go through security. Like I didn't even walk through a metal detector in the airport there. It's like I just walked in. They never asked for an ID or anything. They just asked to see my ticket, and then the next thing I knew, I was walking up the stairs to a plane, and it was so weird compared to here where you go through all the security because they didn't even ask for my ID to get on a plane, and it was weird.
Wow. Yeah, there's no 9/11 there.
I know.
A lot of trust.
Definitely
This is a
not.
lot of trust.
I'm surprised like the rest of the world didn't implement more like security policies after that.
Didn't you say their crime rate is like super
Yeah, their
low
crime rate is
anyways?
like ridiculously low.
They don't have
Really?
like any homeless
they're all like
people
the
and,
nicest people ever.
Really?
Yeah.
Sounds like a utopia.
It's like it's a
is.
different world over there from what I've heard.
Wow.
It's like,
It definitely is. Like it was a big international school that I went to, and so there were a lot of people that I met from the United States. And so far there was one person that just never came back here, and he's just staying there forever now. And then there's one other girl that posted on Facebook like 2 days ago, and she's going back June 1st for like ever. So it's like
whenever you go there, a lot of people just love it.
yeah, it's like you instantly fall in love with it.
Wow.
There's nothing not to love about it.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's justifiable from the pictures like on
Yeah,
Facebook.
it's
Looks
gorgeous.
super awesome.
Everybody's ridiculously nice. It was amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I was just here in Springfield missing my best friend. It was the worst time of my life. It's okay. Just in case we want to.
I know, she made it. We would FaceTime. And we had that 2-week break, and so I was like FaceTiming her stressed out. I was like, I don't know what I want to do. I was like, either I'm going to go to Australia, or I'm going to go to the South Island, or I might go to Fiji.
Week.
And she's over here doing midterms.
I'm like crying from the stress of midterms.
And she's like, are you kidding me? She's like, these are
your issues right now? It's like rich people problems.
like up north.
First world probs. Wait, Fiji. So Fiji is north of New Zealand, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay, totally.
So I know some people who went there for the break, but like flights there were so expensive.
Oh, I bet.
I didn't even bother with that.
That's insane. That's honestly insane.
Yeah.
That's yeah, because I know the ferry between was it Tasmania, the island south of Australia, which I didn't realize was like an area until a while ago. But
I hear it's a cool place.
I dripped. Sorry. I don't know who I'm
Yeah,
apologizing
maybe we
to.
should shotgun that one.
Yeah, just probably just.
Yeah, but that's it. Yeah, it's like a 10-hour ferry ride apparently between Tasmania and Australia. So I can understand why you flew. That makes a lot of sense.
Right. It just saved a lot of time, and we only had those 2 weeks. And those 2 weeks were pretty much completely booked with driving to different places and sightseeing, so.
Yeah, you got to think time whenever you have like.
Which is also weird because it was me and 2 other American girls, and they drive on the other side of the road, and so like everything in the car was like opposite, and like driving was so difficult. It was like we had to pass this like driving test before we could go rent out the camper van. So we're like going around the block, and I'm like, which pedal? I'm like, I have no idea like what to push.
Is like the gas like on the same? Since you drive on the opposite side of the road, is the gas still on the right?
It was like. Now I can't remember, but I think
I've asked you before and you said you couldn't remember, but that's a serious question. Like, you know, you drive on the other side of the road, is the pedal still on the right?
Like, there were so many mornings that we'd start, like, ridiculously
I don't know why,
early.
if it would change, but...
I feel like they switch up and like, depending on the car, even here in the States, though. Because I've had, like, different cars, and, like I...
Where, like, the gas pedal's on the left?
Oh, you said the gas pedal?
Yeah, the gas pedal.
I'm thinking the gas cap. Okay. Like, that fill up your tank.
Yeah, no.
Which
That's, like, different every car.
I always forget which side mine is on.
I do, too.
Well,
I pull up, I feel so silly. I, like, look out, I'm like...
There's a little picture of the gas thing on your thing, and it's got a little arrow on which side it's on.
My car's too old for that, yeah. See, I have a 97, so it doesn't do that.
On the, I'm sure it's on there. I'm gonna look for it.
Apparently, if it doesn't have an arrow that points, it's like whichever side the gas, like, thingy. You know, the thing that goes up and down that shows you how much gas you have left. What's that called?
I want to say the speedometer, but I'm 100% wrong.
I know, that's what I almost said. But the gas gauge.
There it is. Yeah, that's all right.
If the gas gauge is on the left, apparently that's like the side that the tank is on. If it's on the right, that's the side the tank is on. That's not right. None of those are right for my car, but my car's a 97, so it's really
So you just do the opposite then?
Yeah, exactly. I literally do the opposite of, I feel you. But, yeah, that's pretty cool.
So what was the big culture difference between New Zealand and the United States?
Honestly, it was pretty similar, so culture shock wasn't, like, as big of a thing, but there were some, like major differences. Like, barefoot, like, being barefoot there is, like, super common, like, everywhere. So it was like, I'd see people in, like, the dining hall barefoot, and I think that was, like, weird. Like, throughout, like, the grocery store, like, everybody's walking around barefoot.
I think it's weather.
Like, yeah, it is kind of weather. Like, they don't really have extreme temperatures, at least where I was, so, like, summers aren't super hot. Like, most places didn't even have air conditioning.
Okay.
And then winters didn't ever get too cold, so it was, like, weather had something to do with it, but it was just weird. Like, I'd have professors walk in to, like, teach the class with, like, no shoes on, and I'm like, I feel like
that is kind of weird.
I know, it's just, like, it's so casual. Or, like, on, like, super rainy days, like, you'd walk into, like, an academic building, and, like, in the lobby area, everybody would, like, leave their shoes because
Sounds
Everything,
Like in-
like everybody would take off their rain
like in
boots and like
Japan
leave
or
their
whatever,
umbrellas
where they,
there.
like, take their shoes off at the door.
Seriously,
Is that a
everybody
thing?
would like
Yeah.
leave it off, like right at the beginning of these
Amazing.
academic buildings, and just like you know that like nobody was gonna steal it, and it's like
That's
it was
cool.
like very chill.
See, like whenever I see somebody walking around with their shoes on here, like I'm like, that's kind of hippie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're like either homeless or hippie. Yeah.
Yeah, true. That is crazy. That'd be really. Like the first few weeks, I'd be like, "What the hell is going on here?" What about any like expressions? Did they say anything like unique that kind of caught?
Yeah, they said some really weird. They called McDonald's Maccas.
Maccas.
So they went to go get their
Is the
Maccas.
food the same?
Yeah, the food's
Okay.
pretty similar. They had
I
some
didn't know if it was
more
universal.
higher class things, but
Yeah, because I know they switch up like McDonald's in like Japan or like especially in like Asia,
exactly.
they switch it up a shit ton.
it's more expensive, unfortunately.
Yeah. I feel like the States are pretty cheap.
How did it shift your perspective on life?
A lot.
I'm still listening. I'm just gonna shock
Yeah,
them.
you're
That's
ready,
why I
you're
listen.
I think especially because I went there completely by myself without knowing anybody, which I'm glad I did because I think it had a big influence on my outtakes from the whole experience. Because like I was forced to be like independent in the whole thing. Like before I went there, I'd only flown once, and I was kind of like babied through the whole process. And so like my dad pulled up to the curb of like Lambert Airport, and he gave me a hug, and he was like, "Bye," and I was like.
Yeah, it's like
All right, I was like, I can't ask him for help because
Like, you can't
I have
go through
so many
with
flights
it.
to do by
Yeah.
myself. So I just like walked in. I was like, I have no idea where to go. And so it's like everything I had to figure out by myself. So I think like
and
independence.
there's no way to prepare you for it either. Like you're just thrown into it.
And like
True.
once I got there, I had no sort of like phone plan for the entire time that I was over there. So the only time I could use my phone was when I was on Wi-Fi.
Okay.
And so it's like anytime I like went into town or anytime I went on a trip, like my phone was like only there to take pictures. So it was like I became a lot more aware of my surroundings and like using the help of other people rather than technology.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's
it was
pretty
super cool. Like having
Didn't
to
you
talk
say
to
like
people.
like getting home, like you don't have a GPS. You
Yeah.
just like have to figure it out, like
Uh-huh.
walking. Yeah.
Which
See-
is super cool. But like even getting home, like hitchhiking is super common there. So,
No way, really.
It's like
Smaller population makes
yeah.
sense.
And it's like you don't have the fear of being murdered because everybody there is so nice. But yeah, I hitchhiked several times to get home. And it was like when we were down on the South Island, it was probably every few miles we'd see hitchhikers. So it was,
Really?
we picked
Have you
up
ever
one
been
of
with
them.
Yeah.
He was like 24, 25, and he was from Canada actually.
No shit, really.
And so we got to talking to him, and he had been there for 9 months, and he'd only gotten around by hitchhiking.
Wow.
That's crazy.
I wonder if you could do the same in Australia.
I don't know.
I don't. Yeah, because I've thought about.
I hear
hitchhiking.
there is more similar to the United States. I don't know how New Zealand has stayed so pure. Like even like
Like they don't
have any
like,
predatory
yeah,
animals.
that's
Really?
Yeah, they don't have snakes, any kind of snakes.
That's how Ireland is as well. It's a
Spiders,
snake-free
isn't
island.
it? Like,
They have spiders,
Like
but there's
certain
only
ones, yeah.
like 3 poisonous spiders, and none of them can kill you. They just leave like a rash.
See, I would have just assumed that it was just as dangerous as Australia.
That's
I
what I
thought
thought
like
until I
when she
really
said she was
looked
going
into
over
it.
there, I thought like big spiders and bugs and like
Oh,
all
totally.
that stuff. And then she like told me that like
Even like
they had to
ticks
like
or
check your
poison ivy,
shoes
yeah.
for like
Going through customs there, like
make sure you don't have like dirt on your shoes because like you can transport poison ivy that way and like they don't have it.
Oh,
And, like
wow.
things like that.
It
And so
was
it like
crazy.
blew my mind when she was telling me all this.
Like going through customs there, like I have my giant ass suitcase and I'm checking in with them. They're asking me all these questions. They were asking weird questions, first of all. They were asking if like I had any lunch meat. I was like, no.
Wait, what?
Like,
Like,
yeah, no. But then they were like,
you're not allowed
they're like,
that.
I'm just hungry.
Don't tell
they like
me.
asked me
Sorry.
to like the bottom of my shoes for a show them. They were like, do you have any other shoes? And I'm like, well, yeah, like it's a giant ass suitcase. Like I'm here for like 5.5 months.
Right.
And they were like, do they have dirt on them? I'm like, they're not brand new, but like I didn't go walking through mud. So they had to like check all of my shoes and like make sure I could pass through or whatever. And I know several other Americans had to pay like a $250 fee to get their shoes cleaned
Really?
at customs.
Oh wow! So
So
they kind of found a way to
Yeah.
jack you a little bit
Yeah,
there.
like
So they
That's
definitely like to
stupid.
keep it like pure there, I guess.
Okay. Well, it sounds like they have a good thing going. Why
Which
not?
was awesome because like anytime I go hiking or anything, like you have nothing to worry about. 'Cause, like no ticks, no poison ivy, like no predatory animals, no snake. It's like you just hike with no worries. Like there was nothing.
That's cool. Mm-hmm. What time were you over there? What time of the year?
I got there in February, which was like towards the end of their summer. And then I left like towards the beginning of their winter and came back in like the middle of our summer.
Okay.
So it's like opposite.
Totally. Because it's the hemisphere, right? Okay. Just southern hemisphere in comparison to we live on the northern hemisphere.
Right.
Okay.
Which was weird because when I went over there, it was like the beginning of summer, so we went to the beach a couple times. And what I didn't know before I went over there is like there's a hole in the ozone above New Zealand.
No way.
Yeah. And so I got like ridiculously sunburned anytime that like I went to the beach because like I'm terrible at wearing sunscreen because, like, I don't get burnt easily.
That sucks.
But that first day that I went to the beach, I was, like, dying after because I had no idea.
Uh-huh.
And it, like, doesn't feel any different. I guess the rays are just stronger or whatever, but...
Okay. That just makes sense to me, like, the ozone, like...
So the ozone, I'm going to throw some science on y'all real quick.
Totally.
So the ozone layer, it absorbs, like, 80% of UV lighting.
Uh-huh.
And so, like, that is what the sun is. And so that's why in Missouri... You can lay out in the sun for 3 hours and get a very mild sunburn. You go to, like, Alabama, and you will get, like, sun poisoning because you were so fried because it's less ozone. And so when you have no ozone layer, you are getting, like, pure UV lighting, and your body can't handle that.
So how's the composition of the ozone layer? Because I'm not even familiar with what that's, like, made of. But, like, how's the composition of the ozone layer not evenly distributed, like... throughout the entire world? Like, how is there just a gap above?
It's a good question.
Like,
I just learned about like UV lighting and like how the ozone protects us from that, but like I've never. But that's like why Antarctica, you know, like at the bottom.
It's at the bottom.
Bottom, yeah. So like it's so cold because like the ozone is so thick and like it absorbs all that light.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See, I thought it was the way the like tilts the axis.
Well, it's a lot of combinations, but like there's like it's
got two good things going
yeah,
for
like,
it. Yeah.
You know, like a hamster, like a hamster ball. That's how I'm gonna explain it. I think it's gonna work, but I'm kind of drunk. So, it's like, you know how they're like. Man, I see it in my head, and I don't know how to put it into words.
You know how a hamster...
A hamster ball, like, there's the little circle that comes off, and that's where you put the hamster in.
Okay.
That's Antarctica, all right?
Okay.
And so it's super thick plastic. And then it, like, gets a little thinner at the middle where it connects, and that's, like, how it works with...
But New Zealand's at the bottom, so how is that so thin?
So, like, it just, like, progressively gets thinner.
Yeah, I have no idea, like, scientifically why there's that hole, but...
I didn't do that great in this class, but I think that's right. I really think that is right.
I like the comparison. So we need to find this hamster at the Earth's core.
Yeah, exactly. He's in there, and that's why the Earth spins, because he's just running on that wheel.
What class was this?
He's running around. My teachers are wild.
There's a hamster in there.
That's it, like
real life applications.
That's so cool because that makes me really want to go there. Because at some point in life, I don't know if it'll happen or not, but I think the probability of me living in Australia is very high. I think I'll end up...
We talked about this, yeah.
Really? Did we talk about this on our last podcast?
I don't think so. I think
okay.
It was before.
What episode? Yeah, I'm going to pull up what episode.
62.
62? Okay. Shout out, number 62. Yeah, you were on just 5 episodes ago. Very cool, very cool.
Reoccurring.
67 now.
Yep.
Yeah, I definitely want to go back someday. But, like, even, like, going there has made me want to go to so many more places. Because, like I said, it was a big international school, so I met so many people from, like... Germany, South Africa, like Asia. So it's like
I want to go to Africa.
And it's like with social media, it's so cool because you friend all those people, and now that they're all home, it's like you're kind of getting to see their culture and like their way of life at home too, which is super cool.
Absolutely, and they all bring their different perspectives on the world. Mm-hmm. So
it was like a lot of fun. Like whenever we were in the camper van, like every night we'd be at a campsite or whatever. Like so many of the people at these campsites are people who are like internationally traveling because they're like big touristy areas. And so it's like we'd all meet at like the general like picnic area for dinner or whatever, and you'd be sitting at this table with like people from Germany, people from like all over, and it's like not everybody speaks good English, but like trying to like have those conversations with everybody is super cool.
Oh, those are like just awesome times you gotta appreciate, because I've been in the same situation with just people from all over the world, and it's just you're just like, wow, we all. Well, it's kind of interesting in life, like how you can. Like right now, we're all 3 having different experiences. We're all in the same spot, but we're all having different experiences of this.
Yeah.
Like obviously, it's kind of similar because it's like a conversation, but like.
But like in your head, like it's different. Like,
exactly.
I get you.
Or like if we all went to like Navy Pier in Chicago, like we would all be having different experiences because we just have different perspectives.
Yeah, you
on the
portray
world.
it differently in your head. Like you're like, I don't know. Yeah, you're experiencing it differently in your head. Like you physically all the same experience.
True, and the anatomy in our minds is different. So like it's cool because like like everybody there has just a different perspective to bring to the world, and like I love picking everybody's mind like in those situations. That's awesome. That's really cool.
That was amazing. Like one of the guys really stuck with me that I met 'cause he was like 50 years old or something, and I can't even remember where he was from. But he had told me that for the past 20 years, he had been like spending 1 year like working his ass off at like whatever jobs he could find, and then the next 2 years he'd pick a country and he'd go like just travel. So it's like the fact that he could make that work, like working 1 year and then 2 years not working at all and just traveling like in a different country. It's like
that's awesome.
I know, because it's like that just shows you like how possible it is. Like
absolutely,
because it's like he doesn't stick with like a 9-to-5 job, obviously, because he only works every third year. So it's like he just picks up all these jobs and works all the time, and spends 2 years just like enjoying his life.
That sounds worth it, honestly.
Yeah, and he was so happy. Like he was. It was amazing.
Yeah, how can you not be happy? Like that's like the dream lifestyle, I feel like.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's where I would love to take this podcast, is just like kind of live like that, kind of live even like working random jobs. Like I don't know.
I would say it'd be so cool if you like traveled and then like met people. And
it was just him and his dog, and they were like so happy.
Because like if I was able to find those like tourist places like that, and maybe like hit those camping spots or whatever it may be, like hey, like my my microphone is super portable. Would you like to do a podcast with me? I have my own podcast. Here's my like page.
Yeah.
I've done multiple of these things, so they're like yeah, totally. Yeah,
they can,
you know?
That'd be really cool, because then you get so many perspectives.
Totally.
Like, it was so weird being there, because it's like, I watched the news a few times, and it was like, the first 5 minutes was focused on New Zealand, and then outside of that, it was like world news. And it was like,
cool.
It was so different compared to here, because like, when I went over there, it was Donald Trump was still pretty like new news too, and so everybody from New Zealand wanted to talk to me and like hear my opinions and everything like that. They knew so much about our politics and like our systems and everything.
Did they do world news? Because it was like, like most of like Missouri news is like crime and like bad things, because like there's a lot of crime, but like was it because they didn't have like a lot to cover, so they're like, we're gonna make this more like world news?
I think they could have like come up with New Zealand things, but like they focus on like the big events of the world.
I mean, it's awesome. Yeah, I just didn't know if that was it.
Yeah, I think they just don't like
really
focus on like the small thing. Like there's so many things in our news that I think are important, but it's like I don't want to hear every single day about how this person was robbed, how this person like
was shot. Yeah, like another like.
And so it's like they focus on like more of like the broad like big things that I think everybody should know, which I thought was cool.
True.
But they knew so much about like our politics system and things. Like sometimes it was like intimidating talking to them, because they like knew so much about what they were talking about.
And you're like, if like you don't pay that much attention to it, like if you're really politics isn't a huge part of your life.
It's like I can keep up with them.
I mean, I understand what you're saying, but like I don't really keep up. You know more than I do at this point, and that's like sad, like because you live here.
Or even like during my international orientation, like the first week of school, we did like a flag game. So you got like this paper, and they kind of sit us in countries like during this like beginning part, and then we had to like fill out like what country the flag was from, and like the whole United States group was just kind of like looking at each other, and we're all kind of like trying to help each other, and like I felt like every other group was like
knew a lot,
killing it, and like
that's interesting.
So
it was
like were there a lot of like other study abroad students there when you were there?
Yeah.
That's like, why does everybody go to New Zealand? Like, what is it?
Why not?
I mean, yeah, I get why not, but like, where do you hear about it? Like, where do you hear like New Zealand is the place to go? Like, I feel like everybody like goes to, like Spain and stuff.
Well, I bet at the same time, like in Spain or like in Australia, like there'd be a lot
like
of
at Missouri State, like I've only ever met like 3 people who are like study abroad like students. And, like, I mean, I've been here 3 years, and so, like, I feel like I would have met more, but...
Right. A lot of the people that, like, I met there, they had a big vet program, so a lot of people traveled for their vet program. Or there were a lot of, like, environmental and, like, agricultural major type things, like because they have so many farms and sheep and...
yeah, just, like, scenery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they did a lot of work on, like, farms and things like that.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I would totally work at like picking oranges or something like over in Australia. Like if the location's ideal, like maybe work for somebody, like if you had to.
I feel like I'd do agriculture over there.
That would be cool. Like that'd be a fun experience. Really cool. Like I'm not saying like permanently. Like I'm not trying to pick oranges. But like go and work in like a random place over in another part of the world and just make a little side cash like on your travels. Like I've always like thought that'd be a really fun way.
Really nice.
Yeah.
Like, the pay would probably be shitty, but, like, just the experience, like, exactly. I spent, like, 2 weeks picking oranges for this guy over here.
In New Zealand, yeah, just because.
Or even, like, a lot of those people, too, if you do that, they'll, like, offer to let you stay with them. So it's, like, you can learn so much from them, too, while the experience, while you're getting free housing, and, like, a lot of times food and things, too. So I think that's cool. True.
You guys, honestly, this podcast is just making me really adventurous. I'm like, I'm just thinking
I want to go somewhere so bad.
Let's go somewhere now.
That's literally what I do when I'm stressed out with school is I sit and I, like, research, like, different places I can go and, like, the costs of things. I'm like, could I make that work?
How could this work?
Seriously, like, I want to go so bad.
Yeah, I heard, I was reading a book the other day, because I'm reading this book called Vagabonding right now, and it's about, like, how to travel the world and, like, no money at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
And apparently this guy was there, like, in Thailand, and he could go, I forgot where all the places, like, anywhere in Asia, I believe, on, like, less than $400. Like, American dollars. So I was like, that's awesome.
I know
like,
within Asia, you can get a lot for your money.
Totally. I want to travel there for that reason. Like,
yeah.
Like, the conversion rate with, like, Vietnam's, like, I'm throwing out a rough estimate, but it's like $1 is like 68,000 or something insane like that. It's insane.
That would be awesome.
That would be really
like, that was, like, one thing, like, I wanted to go, like, just for a couple weeks to, like, Thailand or something because my money could go so far except for, like, the flight. And so it's, like, everything in New Zealand, like, some things were, like, pretty similar, but, like, I'd say overall it's probably more expensive.
Right.
Which was kind of unfortunate, but, like, to fill, like, a gas tank, it was, like, $100. Like, so, like, a bottle of, like, any kind of liquor was, like, minimum, like, $40.
I have heard that alcohol is a lot more expensive down there.
Yeah.
Is it because imports cost more? Okay.
I know. I found Budweiser, which is actually kind of cool. Because, like, on the side it says, like, imported from St. Louis, Missouri. And I was like, hey.
Oh, wow.
I know. I was like, that's where I'm from. But it was, like...
That's me!
So it was, like, 6 and 12 packs for, like... minimum you could find like a 6-pack for like $24 and I'm like
wow.
I know I'm like
yeah,
that's
you can
crazy.
get like 24 beers for $24
and like the taste is so different from their beer. At the very end they threw me a going away party and they made it like American themed, so like everybody was like dressed American themed and everything like that. So many of these people brought Budweiser because they knew I was from St. Louis and
right.
they were like, we're gonna celebrate this right. And so they paid like however much for their beer, and most of them had like one of them. And they'd come up and they're like, do you want the rest of this? They're like, this is gross. I was like, yeah, I do.
Imagine that party in my head though. That just sounds like a beautiful moment.
It was.
I'm so happy you got to experience that. That's really cool.
It was a good time.
That's cool. That's
so
cool.
There's all these people, like, they had like the most creative outfits. Like one girl had like these giant fur like gloves. And she was dressed up as, like, the right to bear arms. Like, she had bear arms on. I was like, that's awesome.
Okay, that's funny.
I was like, that's awesome. So it's like they had all these, like, there was, like, several Donald Trump dress-ups there. And it was, like, they had all sorts of, like, dressing up. And it was really funny to see, like, their perspective of our culture. Like, everybody had water guns filled with, like, liquor of some kind.
Oh, that's cool.
Like, yeah, it was cool.
That's also, yeah, you're like you said earlier, like about how much they know about like our politics and whatnot. That's really funny to me.
Yeah.
Because like could any of us? Could you even name like New Zealand's president or whatever? Exactly. Like that's insane.
No.
And I know it's like that. Like the rest of the world. Like Trump is probably one of the most he has to be top. I would even say not even top 5, top 3. Like most well-known people in the world right now at this moment in time.
Exactly.
I don't know who else I don't know who it'd be, but it wouldn't be entertainers. It'd probably have to be political leaders.
Which is kind of scary.
True. But so did you learn more from like the diversity of people and like all these different perspectives that all these people would bring to the world, or did you learn more from I guess just being in New Zealand and like that environment in general?
I think from the people. For sure. Especially, like, once again, because, like, I went by myself, I was forced to go out and, like, find these people and meet these people, and so it was, like, they were completely different people, and so it was, like, some people are so similar to people that I hang around here, but other people are so different that it's, like, I kind of got perspectives of, like, all around, which was really cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I definitely learned, like, a lot from all of them. And it's cool because I still, like, keep in touch with, obviously, most of them, so it was a lot of fun. I went... Earlier this school year, I drove over to Purdue because there were like 5 students from Purdue that went over to New Zealand, so I went to go visit them.
Where's Purdue at?
West Lafayette, Indiana.
Oh, that's not too far from...
It was like 6 to 8 hours from here.
Okay.
It was
I was gonna guess 7. I was gonna. I have no idea where in it.
It was a long, boring drive, but it was so weird because it was like thinking that I've never seen these people in the United States before. Like, I had only ever seen them in New Zealand, which was cool.
Yeah, it's kind of a different. It's like, hey, we're back home now.
Right.
It's like seeing your teachers like out in public. Like,
Yeah.
It's like a weird feeling.
True.
You know? Yeah.
That is an awkward time.
Yeah. The flights sucked though, but it was even weird because like I went there and they're all the nicest people and they'll accommodate you like however they can. And then the second I got back here, I flew into LAX, and I had like a 13-hour layover, so I was out of money at that point, so I was just going to hang out within the airport, like get food, like just rest as I could. And it's like they wouldn't let me through security because I was there so early. And then I asked if there was like any food outside, and they were like, nope, sorry. And they were like very unaccommodating and like rude, and I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I want to go back already.
Do you think that's a result of our culture or just our population?
I don't know.
Or maybe a little both.
I
feel like population. Yeah, population's definitely got to play like some role there. Like, you're just gonna treat people differently if you live in a place with. Hey, what is New Zealand's population?
I have no idea. I know they're outnumbered by the amount of sheep there.
Wow.
It's like I've heard anywhere between 1 to 4 and 1 to 7 on the person to sheep ratio.
That's crazy.
They have a ridiculous amount of sheep.
Wow. Here in America,
they're awesome.
If like 50% has like 50% of the population, if they had like sheep, like you don't just own one sheep, you own like multiple sheep. Yeah. So like it's
the South
pretty easy,
Island
but
was
yeah.
even like less populated because it was like whenever we were driving around, you had to really plan throughout your day when you were going to get gas because it's like the gas stations are so far apart because there's only towns so far apart that it's like we had a lot of times that it was like a close call because we didn't look ahead on where gas stations were going to be because you think of that as something that's going to be around.
Right.
And they just weren't.
Yeah, it's so convenient here. It's a necessity here.
Exactly. It's like
it's an expectation, pretty
like,
much.
Mile, yeah.
True. Wow, this is I love talking to people like that have like traveled because I haven't personally. I mean, I've traveled around the U.S. and then I've gotten to know I've always strayed towards foreign people because I just think you can learn a lot more from them than most Americans. Especially, I mean, some Americans are very well rounded, but I feel like we're kind of closed minded here.
Yeah.
But regardless, I don't know. This is like reinforcing the life I want to live, and I just want to live a life full of adventure. At least while I'm in my 20s, and at this point in life, like not as many obligations, no worries, like just have fun with life. Like,
I know. That's why it was hard because everybody was like, "Why are you doing that now? You're in like such debt and everything." And I was like, "Well, how else am I going to do it?" Like,
true.
Because once I graduate, then I'm going to be expected to get a job and everything. I was like, I might as well just pile on the debt now and go. Like, while I don't have all those stresses and worries.
True. I mean, it's now or never. It really is. Like, and I mean, you know this, but I'm not judging you at all. I think you made the right decision. Especially, I mean, it sounds like you've come out a better person from it.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And it's kind of like, it has, like, changed my life, because now I know I want to incorporate travel into my life somehow. I haven't figured out how I want to do that yet, but...
Ditto on everything you just said.
Yeah.
On everything you just said.
Yeah. Because it's hard, because it's like, I'm pretty set on the occupation I want to, like, I want to be an occupational therapist, and I'm pretty set on that. Like, I love, like, the job and everything like that, so I really want to do that. But it's not as much of a traveling job, so I kind of need to figure out how to make my own path, I guess.
True. And like how to get off the time of work and all that. Mm-hmm. I think it's weird because our millennial generation, I feel like we like really want to travel more. Like we're like, hey, like why are we working 40-hour weeks? Like why is the rest in? That's probably really alarming to people. Like especially in a capitalist society. Like I would imagine like the elites or whatever you want to say. This kind of sounds like a conspiracy, but I would imagine they're like how do we control these people? How do we get them to work more? Because I think we're more of like an experience-based generation in comparison to like the past has been more work-based.
Yeah, which was kind of interesting, like reading that book that you like lent me, because it was like
the way the book is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, by the way.
But yeah, it kind of like gave me the mindset of like, so I want to be an occupational therapist and I want to travel, and there's really not like a whole lot of way, but like the book was like you have to make your own way type thing. So it was like I shouldn't have to give up either, you know. True. But I just haven't figured it all out yet.
That book really made me it made me realize you could do a lot more than you like you really can do anything you set your mind to. Like the life you want to live is what you can live. And it makes you really appreciative too, because I mean, ideally speaking, like, I want to get my college debt paid off and then start, like, traveling and having, like, fun with life and, like, really enjoying it. Mm-hmm. And so on the contrary, you really need to enjoy and appreciate these times that we all three, like, get to spend together, you know? Like your friends that you made in college while we're all, like, in this not small city, but in the city together, and we're all in this common place, and we all have this awesome community. I mean, that's what college really is. It's just a community. Like, you're constantly seeing friends everywhere you go. Like, if I walk to campus right now, I'd definitely see somebody I know, which is it's just so beautiful and so awesome. But, like, this is only temporary at the same time. And sometimes I get really frustrated down here, so, like, I'm trying to work on personally, like, being able to appreciate these times for what they are. Because, I mean, if you look back on high school, like, at the time I hated it, but now I, like, look back and just remember the good things, you know?
Yeah, like, you don't want to, like, graduate and then be like, oh my god, college was awful, I was stressed all the time. Like,
exactly.
And you want to, like, look at, like, all the fun you had with the people that you met and, like, the time that you had with them. I get that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I feel you.
And it's hard. It's kind of an art, like, being able to shift your own perspective. Cause I don't
it takes a lot to,
yes.
like, change the way you think about it.
Like I was telling you guys before the podcast, like, I just hate school. Like, I hate it so much. And it's like, I'm not saying I'm not going to be naive and say, or like I don't even know what else you describe this as, but, like, I'm not going to be the person that sits here and say, like, I hate school more than most people, but I do. I really do feel like, in comparison to other people, I just feel like I don't know. I just hate it so much. So I don't know.
It's just so structured, and they want your mind to go one way. It's like
It's like
they
the whole,
expect like the whole you graduate, you get your degree, and then you, like, get a job that you work 40 hours a week. And,
it's like that American dream, like, concept, like, where, like, you go to school, you graduate, you get a career, you get married, you have kids.
Yeah, they, like,
That's
set
your
up
life,
the structure
and you
for
stay
you.
where you are, and you don't do anything fun.
So you think, since I kind of want different things, and this applies to anybody who kind of wants different things that's in this situation too, but since I kind of want a different life than what societal expectations have been pushing upon me, like, do you think that's why there's so much resistance? I'm not saying, like, it is or isn't. I'm just asking if you guys could diagnose me.
Oh, man.
Oh, okay. A lot of pressure. I think, like, I have to think about that. Give me a second.
So repeat the question.
I guess
I almost had to answer it, then he gave me that face.
That's funny. So since I would consider myself, if there's anything I've learned in 22 years of life, it's that, and I think you two would agree with this, and I think pretty much 9 out of 10 people that get to know me would agree with this. It's that I have a very different mind than most people, and the life I plan to live in comparison to the majority of people is going to be different.
Yeah. No.
And since I have this different, like, I guess you could say outlook or like expectation or whatever I'm trying to get out of life, since it's different, do you think that's why there's so much resistance for me to, like, go through school?
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
Okay.
So, like I look at you and I can never, ever imagine you working, like, a 9 to 5, 40 hours a week, every single day. Like, that is
like
100%.
Tie,
like a suit and tie every day, like, waking up, give his child a kiss on the forehead and say, have fun at school, and go work your 9 to 5. I could never, ever see you doing that.
That's what everybody tells me. Like, all my good friends, whenever I ask them, like, this kind of question.
No, I would be disappointed if that's what you did.
Thank you. Okay, those are strong.
At least right out of school. Like, you can do that later, but, like, at least right after you graduate, like, if you, like, signed your little contract and was like, I'm going to work for you. No, I would be so upset. Anyways, given that, I think that's why you hate school so much, is because it's restricting so much of what you can do. You are in Springfield, Missouri, because this is where you go to school, and it's great, and you love it, but you want to travel, and you can't, because you can't just leave school.
True.
And so I think that it's not letting you open up to, like, the freedom of the life that you want to live yet. And I know that you know that it's postponed. You just know, like, you know you're going to live the life that you want, but it's postponed until you graduate. And you get that, but it's frustrating that you can't do it now.
I feel like so many people have to have
That was perfect. That was perfect. That was so well
described. It's Beers and Sarah, and she's killing it.
Yes.
I feel like so many people have to have those, like, independent, like, once in life to, like, want to go and do those kind of things, but they eventually just kind of, like, cave into, like, education.
It's
and
comfortable.
yeah.
It's comfortable. Like, literally, I have no idea. I want to go to vet school, but, you know, if it doesn't happen, I'll figure it out. But, I don't know, like, it's scary not knowing what you want to do. Like, I don't know if I'll get accepted or not, and if I don't, it's terrifying not knowing, hey, I'm going to go do this, someone's going to tell me what to do every single day because I'll have a class schedule or something.
Especially...
And, like, so what career would I go to if I don't get into vet school? I don't know, but, like, I think people are like, well, I want to find something now, so they, like, start interning, and then they offer them a job, and they're like, that's comfortable.
Yeah.
That's safe.
They want to
I'm guaranteed a salary. And,
certainty.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't want to go out of that comfort zone where you don't have that...
Where you don't know.
Like, insurance that it's going to be
especially if it's, like,
out.
travel-based, because most of those jobs would be, like, a part-time type thing. So it's, like, once one's done, then you're left hanging. It's like you have to figure it out for yourself, and a lot of people don't like having to, like, make their own way.
Right. They'd rather have the security, maybe.
Yeah.
Totally. So
I feel like so many people fall into society that way.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I always imagine, like, I don't know, the people at the top kind of, like, manipulating what we're gonna, like our human nature against us, almost. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And being able to use our own uncertainty and our own doubts against us.
Thanks.
I'm not saying they are or aren't. I'm just saying, like with somebody who has a pretty good understanding of, like, human psychology and like how humans are going to react in certain like situations, like I would argue that they probably implemented that into our education system at least a little bit. I would argue a lot, honestly, but, like, at least a little bit. I think that's almost undeniable.
Yeah.
Especially to push that, like, mundane, like, 9 to 5 kind of, like, factory worker
do you,
almost.
like, remember in, like, grade school how your teachers would always be like, you have to stand in line because in high school, like, they don't tolerate this, and, like, you have to pay attention to this because in high school they don't do this, and then in high school they're like your professors aren't going to tolerate this, and so it was kind of just, like, prepping you.
And they kind of, like, put you in, like, the fear of it.
Yeah, like, this fear of, like, if I don't do something, someone's going to punish me for it, and so you live this super safe, comfortable life where you're not doing anything that you really want to do because you could get in trouble. Or,
and
like,
scared of authority.
It could not work, yeah, and, like, also society's so based around money that, like, if you don't have that insurance of, like, a career and, like, money, income, like, what are you going to do? Like,
True. That's a really, really good point, because, like,
it's, like, a lot of aspects combined, but, yeah.
Like in grade school, hey, middle school's not going to tolerate if you don't complete your sentences.
Exactly.
Oh, if you don't use APA in high school, they do not tolerate.
Yeah,
like
now they're scaring us about the real world. That's the point we are now. So,
but, like, they act like you're gonna graduate and you're gonna be thrown into, like, this jungle called the real world, and, like,
that's what we call it. That's literally what we call it.
They act like everybody's out to get you, and, like, that's not it. Like, the world should work as, like, a whole, like, everybody works together, helps out other people, but, like, instead we're kind of just like, they want to be better than you. They want to beat you at what you're doing, and so that's kind of an issue as well.
Absolutely. Wow, yeah. Would you guys argue that they try to control us with fear?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
100%.
The fear of the unknown. Mm-hmm. There's a book I was reading the other day, or I always say the other day, but this was literally like 4 or 5 months ago.
I do that all the time. It'll be like a year ago. I'm like, the other day I did that.
So true. But basically, the book is it's by Tim Ferriss, called Tools of Titans, and the premise is he has his own podcast, and he's had like let's just say 200 people in this book. I don't remember the exact number, but he has 200 people, and he just has a little, like, a page or two for each person. Like, say for example, like I had you two in this book, and I keep burping now.
I do too.
Yeah, so like there'd be like a page or two for each person, and a lot of people, like, in their like 30s or 40s, like what would you? The question is, what would you say to your 20-year-old self? And so this same question is in for, like, different people throughout the duration of this book. Most of the people in this book say it's all going to be all right.
It's going to work out.
It's all going to be cool. Because at the end of the day, the way I see it is, I'm always going to be Jordan Fischer. I always have control of the present moment of how I'm going to react to that. Carolyn Boschert, you'll always be you. Like, regardless, like, whatever situation you get up to, especially with this New Zealand experience or any other life experience that's thrown in your way, you've always find a way to adapt and overcome it. Right. Sarah Dobbs, you can always overcome anything. You know what I mean? Like, regardless of what life's going to throw at you. So, like, I feel like any, like, human anxiety in general, like, comes from being able to, like, I hate throwing out this word because I got shit for it on Twitter the other day, but the being able to like prognosticate the future.
I made fun of you for that word.
Brendan Ellerbach replied, and he replied, he's like, the thesaurus or something, and I knew he was being a smartass, and I was like, fuck off.
Well, you like said it on the podcast that I did, and I was just like, wow, big word. I like knew what it meant, but damn.
It pretty much just means predict.
Yeah,
Predicts.
Exactly. You don't want to like assume and predict.
He's like thesaurus, and I'm like, is that a dinosaur?
Jokes, Jordan jokes.
I literally I keep a vocab list because I'm like, oh, like people throw big words at me on this all the time, so I'm like, okay, I need to like up my vocabulary if I'm gonna like, if I gotta hang, you know.
Mm-hmm. See, it's so funny because you say you hate school, but you are like the only person I know that loves learning things.
I love learning.
But he loves learning, like,
I know, but like it's just so
it's
just so crazy. Like he loves learning, but like school is not his thing. Like not his.
Which is so weird because there's like no society path for that. Like you know,
yeah,
like, there's nothing set for people who want to learn
things,
outside
to
of
learn.
It's like
True.
Yeah.
I think it's the value that books have added to my life. Just the I guess like entrepreneurial. Like I just feel like I feel like I could adapt to any situation. Not any, but like especially in comparison to where I was last year. Like books just made me feel way more confident. Like any situation you throw me in, I'm like, okay, like how can I apply the knowledge I already have in my brain to like this? And that's kind of what the podcast is too, because everybody has their own different perspective that they kind of throw at me. Oh, how would I'm just going to throw out a random person. How would Colin Wynn, this is one of my buddies back home, how would he handle this situation? Oh, we talked about this in this podcast. He would handle it this way. And I'm like, since I have the podcast, I'm able to throw different perspectives that other people have that they like introduce me to, or maybe a book or something like that. And I think that gives me a lot of confidence to like any situation life throws at me, whether I'm traveling, whether I'm in business or anything in life. Like I feel like I can do it. You know?
Yeah.
You got it.
Thank you. So do you. So do you. So do you.
We can all do it, guys. We'll get through life. They can't scare us.
Yeah, exactly.
It is scary though at this point.
Well, it's like I text her all the time, and I'm like bitching about school and like how stressed I am, and like what if I don't pass this class and I have to retake it because I got a D and I needed a C or whatever. And like every time, I mean, I do the same thing for her, but every time she just responds, it'll all work out. Like you'll graduate, everything will be fine. And in that moment, you are like, F you, like I'm mad, like I just want you to be mad about this with me.
Right.
Then you think about it a week later, you're like, they're right. Like I can retake the class, whatever, who cares, I'll graduate and everything will be fine. Yeah.
We'll figure it
exactly. And it's like in that moment you are so mad.
Yeah.
True.
It's just so hard because you don't want to let like the moment get to you. Like you were saying, like you realize like in the moment, like you are your own person and like you have to focus on the positives of that.
And it will be okay. It literally will. Like, it's not the end of the world, but...
Like, school should not dictate your entire life. Like, there's so much more.
It's so easy to let it, too.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god, it's so easy.
So easy.
Yeah.
Just walk into a college library during finals week.
You see, like, people, like, crying and just, like, laying on the floor. And, like, you're like, yeah, you live here.
Yeah.
It's insane. And, like, the lack of empathy that, like, at least in my opinion, that, like, the people older than us, like, our teachers and all that kind of feel.
Know.
Like, it's just, it's kind of a loveless place. They make it, I feel like they make it very exclusive. Yes. Like, the degree to be a little bit more exclusive, because then it makes it more... it's more desirable and it's more like marketable and the value goes up, I guess is a better way to word that.
So what did you think about Bernie Sanders winning the whole free college idea?
I didn't know enough. I know my grandparents are opposed to it because it's like going to rely on like a lot of like raising our tax rates like incredibly high.
That's pretty much all I knew.
I do think
pretty much all I
the best thing we could do for like people our age, because I just know how much stress it's created in my life, and I know if it's creating stress in my life, it has to be creating stress in a ton of other college students' lives, and I just don't think we should cripple our young people with debt. Like, at a point that they're supposed to be taking...
people who are like 45 and still haven't paid it all off.
Exactly.
Like, it's crazy.
That's kind of where I was, like, obviously. I didn't know a whole lot about it either, but it's like, I would rather pay higher taxes once my life is established than right now be like under this pressure of knowing like how much debt I'm in, and that like now there's no turning back because I have so much to pay off, and it's like
Yeah,
just
like
under all the
maybe not
pressure.
like free, but definitely not as expensive as it is. Like I was looking at vet school rates and stuff, and like I wanted to go to OU, and for out of state it was $125,000
Oh wow.
for a year.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Wow.
You don't even make that much as a vet in 1 year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, I'm biased, but I wouldn't do it. I don't know.
Yeah, I kicked that school out of the list. I was like, no, thank you. Yeah, I started looking at like different countries. It was like that's probably the best route.
So just to be clear, $125,000 for 1 year.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's like the best program in the nation, but like
Wow.
insane. I know, like you can buy a house with that. Like you can do so much with that, and instead you would spend it on school. That's dumb.
Right.
Like that's just stupid. Who would do it? Like, but. Yeah,
There's gotta be people if it's.
I know, but like, don't make it free, but
Yeah.
don't make it $14,000 a year. Like,
And the fact that like the prices
unnecessary.
keep climbing, like when is that ever
Like
going to
my
stop?
grandpa went to college and like
Yeah, good
I mean,
point.
you're like obviously your grandpa, but if you talk to your grandparents about like what they paid in school, like it's like they paid like a couple hundred, like, and you're like that doesn't make any sense how it has climbed so much. Like my parents had saved up enough when we were kids to pay for school completely, and then by the time we actually got to college, it was like that didn't even like cut a fraction of it. Like,
Right.
It was So.
Well, if I know if I was somebody in control and wanting people to work constantly, work 40-hour work weeks, what I would do is sell them on the idea of college and then
Convince them
rake
that they
them up.
can't do anything with it without it,
Exactly.
and then they feel like they have no options. So
they
they're
have
gonna
this
do it.
dependency
Yeah, exactly.
upon the college, and then they just cripple you with debt. They make you a slave to debt, and then
you're forced to work for them forever.
And then by that time you
It's
have a
like
kid
vicious
or
cycle.
family or something going on, like wife. I mean, for you guys husbands, like just you would be like more settled down at that point by the time you actually pay it off.
Yeah.
So then you're stuck, you're trapped, and we're creatures of habit, like undeniably.
Oh,
like
yeah.
we all kind of stray towards our own habits. So. Wow, that's I don't know. Like I don't know if that's what has been planned, but I'm just saying it makes a lot of fucking
It's
sense.
a cycle. Like if you fall into it, you're kind of stuck.
True.
Because like growing up, like even throughout high school, like I didn't even think about anything outside of that. I was like, I go to college, like that's what I do next,
Yeah.
you know. And so it's like
Like I thought I didn't have an option. I thought that was it.
Like,
Oh.
that's just kind of like how
You go to
people are
college.
raised. It's like, you go to high school, you go to college, you get a job. And it's like, so then you think that's just what you're expected to do, and so everybody does it.
Sure.
Like, that's what your parents did, so that's what you're going to do. That's what your kids are going to do, and et cetera, et cetera. And, yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Like, it pisses me off to think about. But.
Or even like at high schools, they would bring in colleges to come talk to you about their college or whatever. And that happened multiple times a week, every week, but you never once heard like anybody once
had
encouraging
one
going
teacher.
like non-college route. So it's like,
True.
We had one teacher at Duchenne. Mrs. Coleman, you're an angel.
love her.
If you somehow watch this, you were an
Love
angel
you.
sent from heaven. Because she went to like four or five different colleges because she couldn't find one that she wanted to stay at. She was like just this huge partier. She went for like ever. She went she went to school for so long because she could not graduate.
and keep in
now
mind
she's a
when we
teacher.
had her, she was like this really old lady.
Old, like,
Oh, okay.
very
She
old,
was
innocent.
awesome.
You want her to be your grandma, yeah. Like,
Okay.
And she was so cute, but like one time, like I was just like, it was like when they had a college come in and talk to us, and like she was like, it was like, college isn't for everybody. It was not for me. I forced myself to do it, but you can find jobs without it. And like that was like the most reassuring thing I have ever heard. Just because
That's
like
awesome.
I was so stressed. I was like, where am I going to go to school? Like I need to tour this place and this place and this place. How am I going to pay for it? How many loans am I going to have to take out? And then she just was like, you don't have to do it if you don't want to. If
And
that
you
is
just
not
don't
where
hear that
if that is not where you feel where you should be, don't do it. You can always go if you want. Like you could be 25 and go. Nobody's stopping you. Like you can go literally at any point in your life. I've had like an 80-year-old in my class before, like, and so that was very reassuring to just hear like a teacher, someone with authority over you, tell you you don't have to.
You're good.
It's nice. Yeah, like you'll figure your life out and it'll be okay.
You didn't realize there were options with that.
Exactly. And
Exactly.
like she was like, you're in high school, you're gonna have a degree in like you're gonna have your diploma, so like you can find things. Like you'll be okay. And that was nice. I love Miss Coleman.
And now we're all stuck.
And now here we are in
Now
college.
we're all
I like how we talk about how great that was when we're all in college.
Well, that's awesome that she introduced you to like.
Yeah, like the idea that like there's more out
the
there.
alternative.
Yeah,
the
and she was like,
alternative.
there's no like issue with like going and being a plumber or like construction where you don't go to school. Like she was like, there's no issue with that. And, like,
Sure.
that was like, I don't want to be a plumber, obviously, but like there was just that reassurance, you know.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna figure it out. Yeah, nice.
Another problem I have with college is, like you guys were saying, like you like I enjoy learning and stuff like that, and I wouldn't spend time, like I wouldn't spend my free time reading books or listening to podcasts or doing whatever it is to like kind of like expand my perspective on the world if it didn't add some like value that I really think is important.
Yeah.
And I will say that what I've learned, I find to be a lot more important than anything I've learned in school. For the most part. I think some classes are, like, applicable or whatever, but I don't know. I just don't find a lot. Like, I think what they do is they have you associate learning with this tedious task that you have to get through in order to be successful. Then you hate the process of learning, and you hate, like, the process of reading a book or like filling your mind with whatever like information.
Yeah.
And it's like all the association. I feel like the association with like the shitty stuff. Like you associate learning with shitty, but then in reality, what's going to free you and the most liberating stuff that you can have in your life is knowledge. At least I would argue that.
Right.
Knowledge is power.
True.
That's what they say.
You're so wise.
I know, right?
So wise.
The most like everybody knows that phrase.
Sitting in the bathroom, the girl's
Gandhi,
bathroom,
just saying.
the flickering light bulb.
Not trying to brag, but I'm just saying, you know. Catch me in a couple
Just passing
years,
out books.
strictly wearing like a robe or something, sitting there, handing out.
Have you
advice.
considered meditation?
Right.
Feed your mind.
She's gonna become like the creepy person in the bathroom.
The biggest tree hugger. That's so me. I see it. What a time. What a time to be alive.
True. I do think our generation is going to change a lot. It's going to change the world inevitably,
Oh, yeah.
but in what ways, good or bad, I don't know.
We shall see.
I think it's weird because I think we live in a time like our generation now, like college students. I feel like we have more access to information, so like some people are going in the route that we've been more informed than ever before. Like, there's no way that a 20-year-old now that like has with all the options in comparison to like a 20-year-old even just 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, there's no comparison between like what they could know. But like on the contrary, I feel like so many people. I'm not saying I don't know what the past was like, but I feel like so many people. I don't know. They just get really distracted by social media and like. I feel like we have a lot of really ignorant people in this world and in college, to where it's like
You are not wrong.
the widest gap of like consciousness ever.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, I 100% agree with that. Yeah, that is the most.
And I feel like we're the
fascinating
first
part.
like generation that like social media has played a part in that, and like technology in general, because it like exploded. Like as soon as technology started to become advanced,
Well,
like,
even like my freshman year of high school,
crazy.
like I didn't even have a Twitter, and then like everybody was like, "Oh, Twitter's a thing now." So then I got one, and then like within the past, like literally my freshman year of high school to my junior year of college, it is not that long. It's been like 7-ish years, and like it has exploded how important social media is.
And it's
to
like a daily
everybody.
part of most people's lives.
Right? Exactly. Like
Multiple times a day.
Yeah, exactly, and that's crazy to me.
I know.
It's so wild that.
it was like starting with like the iPods and everything, and then iPods like so quickly turned into like iPhones, and then everybody had iPhones, and then
Yeah.
social media, and it's like it keeps piling on to where it's like, I don't know.
The
It's
world was
definitely
so
played-
different 10 years ago. It was so different.
Like
It's crazy.
we only had Facebook and MySpace,
Yeah.
and now here we are with like literally literally my beer can has a Snapchat code on it, so I can add them on
Right.
Snapchat. Like,
Oh, that is
if
funny.
that doesn't like explain anything, yeah.
It's important. Like 10 years from now, there'll probably be driverless cars, realistically
Seriously.
speaking.
Oh yeah,
That's great. I was listening to a podcast the other day. I don't know what the year was, but basically at this point in time, right now in 2018, I don't know when this podcast was released, but it was around this point in time.
Right.
The Ubers and Lyfts, between the two of them, on the driving cars in America, or like transportation in America, it makes up like 0.8%. And what they want, the expected point,
growth
I guess.
Rate of it.
Yeah, it's up to 80% of transportation. So like the way that this was also kind of biased because it was a podcast with the CEO of Lyft or one of the two like founding fathers or whatever, and he so like he was biased and he thinks that the future is going to be more like Lyft, but it sounds like what the future is going to be like is people won't own cars as much, especially in like big cities, but people will instead just rent like Lyfts or whatever, and they'll get like driverless cars. Like
I could see it, yeah.
That would be crazy.
That would be really crazy.
But it makes sense though if they're driverless cars and they're running on electric, which I'm not saying
the environment.
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
It would be a lot better for the environment.
You could realistically get a pretty cheap ride for like I don't know what the distance would be, but I would assume because they're going to try to make it as convenient as possible. I would assume. So with that being said, they're probably going to to minimize the cost without having to pay for gas. Is that expense? They would just pay for you're pretty much paying for the time that you're using it.
Yeah.
Which they could probably get that down. I don't know. I have no idea.
But like what's crazy is like they have complete control of that. So it's like, for instance, like back home, from Main Street to like my house, it's like a $5 Uber. So I usually just Uber.
I was gonna say from like here.
It's not bad.
From here to
not bad at
downtown
all.
Springfield
So
is like $6.
So that's usually
that's not bad either.
That's usually like what I rely on. And so it was the night before Thanksgiving, so I probably should have thought about that. But like at the end of the night, I like checked Uber and it was like $30. Because they know they can overprice because everybody is out drinking that night. And so it's like they have complete control, which is kind of scary.
Like there's more demand for Uber drivers at that moment. And so like multiple times I've checked and it was like a mile drive and it was $30 or more, and then I checked in 10 minutes and it was back down to $5.
But it's like I even waited till
like they can change
3 a.m., like 3:30 a.m., like because I work down on Main Street, so I just went into the bar that I work at, and I was just sitting in there while they were cleaning, and I would like check like every 20 minutes or so, and it was still like between $20 and $30. And I was like, I'm not gonna pay that to get a mile home.
Right, like walk home at that point.
Crazy.
I know. I was like, I'm not gonna walk home because it's cold. And I was like, I'm just gonna wait for them to close and have one of them give me a ride. And so
there
it's like, exactly. So I did.
But still, like just the fact that they can jack up the prices, and if you have no option, like because like nobody's buying cars or whatever.
That's what I'm saying. So like, if you're like trying to like plan your budget, that'd be really difficult with only like transportation with like Uber.
True.
Yeah.
Because they have the control.
What if they bought like X amount of cars and they bought like a substantial amount more than like is what is necessary, so then there's no scarcity of cars like with the demand, and they can pretty much always meet demand even on big events. Obviously they'll still raise the price.
Well, I mean, they can just like change the price of like.
But they're still a
charge
company.
per mile
like,
type thing.
They're still a company.
So,
they want to make the money. So it's like
so they could
that
be
would
like
be the ideal
like
world.
if you don't have an option, if you don't have a car, and like you look at it and it's like, hey, this is $40 to get 2 miles, like, and you don't have a car, you're like, well, guess what I'm paying, like, so yeah.
It's like the ideal world is that they have enough cars and that they'd let you do that, but like
see, that's my thing. Like the ideal world is like everybody's gonna look out for each other and like accommodate that, and it doesn't happen, and that's like. Yeah, that's literally it. Like, it's not going to happen.
Right,
and you can hope that they're going to be generous and charge a fair price, but they're not because they want to make a profit.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna it'll find a balance as far as like economically speaking. I don't know what that price will be, but especially if there's no if they don't have to take out the charge for like paying like an Uber person to drive, and if they don't have to pay the charge for gas either, and they're pretty much just employing these like driverless taxis. Then I don't know. I would assume it'd be a lot cheaper, and they can maybe do like.
You'd think maybe like, they could still make the money off of it.
True. Maybe the. I feel like it would inevitably go down in comparison to what it is now. So like that $5 ride you would get now maybe be like $2, but maybe then they raise it on like a night that there's a lot of demand, maybe up to like $10. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I feel like it would be cheaper overall than like 30 because that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally 6 times more.
Yeah.
Oh, that's stupid.
I know. I was like, that's ridiculous. And it's like the fact that like if I didn't work at that bar and could go in after hours, like I would have had to pay that because it's like they want you forced in that situation because they know it's a big drinking night. So everybody's going to be drunk and then they're forced into that like needing a ride.
True.
Right.
Which sucks.
Taking advantage a little bit.
Yep.
But it's just economics, I guess, at the heart of it too. Yeah, I don't know. The future's gonna be weird though.
It's gonna be weird. Yeah. Remember how we thought we would have like flying cars by now? Crazy. What a crazy concept.
Have you been let down, Sarah?
This was her dream.
Thoroughly disappointed. That's all I was looking forward to.
Yeah, apparently they're going the tunnel route instead.
I know,
Crazy.
right? And like that one like train that goes really, really
Yeah.
fast, like 180 miles per
It
hour.
hasn't gone from like LA to what is it?
Well, they want to put one like KC to St. Louis.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, and then,
Yeah, it's still like up for debate or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's nothing set, but
it's 45 minutes. A 45-minute ride to KC.
That'd
be
nothing.
awesome.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
Can you imagine, like, you could get a job in Kansas City and live in
Seriously.
St. Louis, and
True.
the commute's not bad. Like,
not
'cause
bad
you
at all.
get, like,
awesome.
your pass or whatever, you know, like, and
Wow.
it's crazy.
That would be really
It's
sick.
change
That'd be
in the world.
sick.
Yeah.
Probably so bad for the environment. Probably so
I heard
bad for
the way they do
environment.
that because they have them in Japan now. I'm pretty sure. Like they
Yeah.
go like 200 miles an hour or something
Yeah,
insane
something
like that.
crazy.
Wow, that would be awesome to have. But
know.
yeah, I've heard they work by like somehow they work through magnetism or something, and they reduce friction so that there's not as much like
Resistance.
yeah in
the
comparison to like
tracks.
normal trains or something,
Yeah.
which is awesome. That's
That's
crazy.
really cool.
That's crazy.
I wonder if it'd be expensive. I don't know.
I don't know. That's my question. Like, how is it fuel? Is it like electric? Is it?
I have no idea.
I have so many questions.
I feel like I'd be terrified to
I have
be
a
on
bone
that.
to pick with
I'd be
whoever
like,
it is.
like
If
something
it's
goes
gas,
so
I have a
wrong.
bone to pick with them because it's bad for the
What were you saying?
environment.
I said I feel like I'd be terrified to be on that. Like you're going so fast that if like anything went wrong,
Well,
I
like,
feel like
it's like a
everyone's just
plane.
fucked.
A plane,
Yeah, I
you're
kinda
going
get
like
scared on
1,000 miles
planes,
per hour.
too.
Well, yeah.
Aren't trains like the safest way of transportation? I could be wrong, but
They can take down
I don't know.
anything.
woo,
Let's try to stop a train. Let me know how it goes.
good luck.
We have,
Yeah, but the second they're off their tracks, they're fucked.
Well, yeah, you just don't go up.
Yeah, I'll keep that in mind if I'm ever driving a train.
I was gonna say, if you're ever like the conductor or whatever they call them, yeah.
All right, everybody. I just wanted
We're
to get this
off-roading.
job. Yeah, we're going off a little bit. Just kidding. I actually only wanted this job so I could say the following line: "Toot toot."
We're going balls to the wall here, y'all.
Yes,
You wanted this job so you could say "toot toot." What's wrong with you?
pretty much.
Phenomenal. Love it.
Cool. Do you guys have any more? Anything else to say?
I'm good.
Sam, I gotta go to the bathroom.
I
I'm
have to
not
pee
gonna lie.
so bad.
I had to pee so bad.
The big
You
girl
get-
do that.
So true.
Yeah.
I was like, why do I have to piss? And I was like, shotgun.
Shotgun, 2 beers.
2 warm daddies.
See, two warm natty daddies.
Daddy, daddy.
Well, you can have the
Sorry, I
bathroom
told you.
first.
Bless.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Just don't talk about me or any other guys.
Okay.
You can talk about other guys. Just not me.
I'll just be in there by myself. Okay, you're safe. It's fine.
Let's be real, Carol.
I'll call all
Let's
my
go
friends.
in
Be
there
like,
with
hey, so I have no one to talk to in here.
you. I'm in the bathroom. Oh my goodness, I love you. You're beautiful.
I'm not drunk enough for that.
Well, what should we call this episode? I keep coming up with the episode names on the podcast.
I don't
but
know, we are kind of all over the place.
Liddy titty.
Liddy Titty.
Please don't call it that.
New Zealand, maybe college or
Yeah.
What about girls' bathroom in New Zealand? How's that?
Yeah.
Perfect.
The girls'
Cool.
bathroom, I feel like, is intriguing. So, like, I feel like
The girl.
it's enticing. The girls' room.
Girls' room. Yeah, honestly, that blew my mind. That was probably the most like I don't know. I feel
It's
like
comforting.
yeah, like that. It just blew my mind.
Girls
I
are
really
just
feel bad for
loving everyone.
boys who don't have that
I
experience.
know. You never get to be told how great you look,
How beautiful you
and
are.
how perfect you are, and how much they love you, and it's just it hurts a little bit.
You know,
I'm not gonna-
us guys need the moral support as
That's
well.
what I'm saying. It's
We need it just as bad.
Exactly.
Why don't we just give it to each other? Like, you know, this is what I'm gonna do next time I go to the bathroom. I'm gonna pull up next to somebody,
pull up
And,
next
yeah,
to
pull
somebody's
up.
car. Put it in park.
put it in park, and just get next to him on the urinal,
Right.
look him straight in the eyes.
Oh man, I see this.
Once we
going
make
so
eye
poorly.
contact, look down and be like, dude, you got a pretty big dick, man. You got a bigger dick than I do, and I admire that.
I
Oh,
admire that.
and you're beautiful.
You should be so
And
proud.
also, you're beautiful. Just throw that on top. Yeah, I can see that going really well. Keep me updated.
I will.
Oh man. Oh man, you're gonna get beat.
He's gonna get hit.
You're gonna get hit. Whether you're gonna win.
Do you think think I'd even be able to like tell him he's beautiful before I got hit?
No. He would have already swung.
Okay,
Before,
okay.
like, the second you looked down, I feel like he would have got hit.
I think I'd agree with that.
I'm so
honestly.
weirded out by the concept of like urinals.
But see, it's so funny
all in,
because-
like a row.
Yeah,
Like, that's so like weird that girls are like so private in their own little like cubicles, and then guys
see,
are like
you
we're
think-
all just gonna be
You
like.
think it's so private and like guys get weirded out standing next to each other, like at like
Yeah, well,
urinals.
like-
but then I grab random girls in the bathroom and bring them into the stall with me.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, like
But I
I've
feel
had
like
them
it's
help me
different
get dressed.
because it's like with a girl, you're like sitting down, whatever. Like guys just like whip it out, and they're like right next to people.
Have you ever worn a romper?
Oh, I guess the camera quit at some point.
Hey,
Hey!
hey.
We didn't record that entire thing.
I knew it was going like an hour ago. I don't know. It was going for a while, so that's all we can ask for. Just like quit going though. I don't know what's up with it, but
Cool.
Interesting.
yeah, cool.
Can be
All right,
loud.
you heard it here first. Hour and a half. Wow, we went a while. Cool. Bye.
Hi, pals.